Welcome back to TMI with Teryl and Martha, and we are very excited today to be talking about preventable poor health. Teryl, tell them who we have.
Well, welcome to TMI with Teryl and Martha, and I'm so excited to introduce Jeannie Winner. She's Mrs. Jeannie Winner, and she works here at Winner Wellness on Green Street. We're neighbors. We've been across the street from each other for, 20 some odd years now. Yes. And so I was lucky enough to be able to start becoming her patient recently.
Yes, we had so much fun.
Yeah. And we do. We get in there and have fun, and we have to remember that we have things to do.
Things to do and places to go.
Yes. So,
Absolutely.
but Jeanne is just amazing with all things nutrition, guiding your life into a healthier place.
Oh, thank you. You're too kind.
And she's amazing with muscle testing as well. And we're going to talk to her about all kinds of preventative health issues. We're going to talk about the big three, right? We're going to talk about obesity, what are the other ones? Diabetes, and also Heart disease.
Diabetes, heart disease, and cancer.
And I am
the big three.
Diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. And
That's
I am very well acquainted with heart disease. Unfortunately, my family has it on both sides.
Oh,
So
no.
yes, so I have to work extra hard to make sure I'm safe.
Well, that's the whole thing. You don't accept that as a
I
death
will not.
sentence.
No,
There are many things you can do to prevent your genes from
expressing.
repeating history.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Well, we're so excited to have you here. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can like and subscribe because we love for you to be a part of the community that
Yeah.
we have here, and let us know what you think about the topics and suggest some topics. But Jeannie, I want to start off because, my husband's a primary care physician, and he has jokingly said, but it's true, that if people, quit smoking, drinking, and started eating right, he'd have nothing to do. Okay. And so it seems to me like these preventable diseases are kind of fall in that realm.
Right.
I mean, yes, there's genetic factors, and of course we need to be aware of those, but the way you take care of yourself is really important.
Absolutely.
So tell us about that.
Okay. Yes, there are preventable diseases, and the big three are preventable. Yes, there are other factors, but for the majority of us, if we have a genetic predisposition toward diabetes or whatever, and I'll just case in point, I have diabetes runs rampant on my mom's side of the family. In fact, it's so rampant, and my mother was from the Philippines. Everyone, in fact, when I went to visit my relatives,
Very common in
the
that
first
culture.
Yes,
time
it is.
the first question I was asked is, "Are you a diabetic yet?"
Wow. Yes.
I kid you not. And I said, "No, I'm not." And I was a lot older than them.
Yeah.
I'm a lot older than them. No, I'm not. And they were shocked.
Wow.
Why are you not a diabetic? We all
So
have
common.
that
You
gene.
guys, anybody diabetic out
No,
there?
in fact, they will, the younger set, they will all go get on diabetic medicine,
Oh, is that how they're addressing
even though they're
it
not diagnosed.
in the Philippines?
Yes, that's
Oh,
how they're addressing
I was
it.
assuming maybe in the Philippines they were working in a more natural
I
vein.
thought so too, but no, not
No.
anymore.
Okay. Well, it's easy to take a pill.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, hasn't there been, I think we've gotten so much more educated about the problems with diabetes, because I think when I was growing up, my mother's side of the family, same kind of thing. Everybody on that side of the family had diabetes. And my mother did not. And I think it's because she got out of that kind of lifestyle. She moved away. She didn't grow up where everybody else was. And so I think that was part of it. Not that she didn't love her family, but her life just took her in different places. So she changed the way she ate, the way she acted, all that kind of stuff. But I think we sort of looked at it as, oh, yeah, it's just diabetes. You can treat it, whatever. And the health problems related to diabetes,
They're far and
the
wide.
risks are unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then since COVID, what we saw was that the people that died of COVID had 4 other comorbidities, and many, many had diabetes.
Right.
And so it was a huge contributor to the mortality of that disease. So, you're saying diabetes is preventable. Tell us about that.
Yes. Now we're talking about type 2 diabetes.
Right.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Type 1 diabetes is the person
Pancreas.
cannot make
Yeah.
insulin.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a whole different ballgame. So we're going to talk about type 2 diabetes
Okay.
and how you can prevent that even if you have a genetic predisposition toward type 2 diabetes and it runs in your family. But also, if you already have type 2 diabetes, ways that you can improve your scores and improve your outcomes.
Well, that's good to know. And, a lot of times people do think just because it's genetic, it's just they're going to trot down that street, whether they like it or not. I became a personal trainer really mainly because I knew that I had to combat a whole lot of genetic bullets in my gun, right? The heart disease on one side, actually heart disease on two sides, and then diabetes on my mother's side. And she's been like what we call a skinny fat person for a long, long time. She was a model and she was very tall and appeared very, very healthy, but she was pre-diabetes a long time ago and then slipped into being a diabetic. And so she's kind of gone back and forth. But I really didn't want to go that route. And I have no problem. Like, I don't have any problems with pharmaceutical intervention when necessary. But the goal would be to stay out of that zone and try to stay healthy through diet, exercise, lifestyle changes, right?
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where you fall in with what you're really
Yes.
doing a majority of the time with your patients, right?
That's
Your
correct.
clients.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. My role is to help my patients with education and with ways to help them manage lifestyle
Right.
and ways to choose the healthy types of foods that nourish their body
Right.
and the types of supplements that help nourish their body as well. Because a lot of people are just ordering lots of things off the internet
Yeah.
and they really don't know
What's in them?
Yes, and they are spending too much money on things that really are not necessary, And granted, our food supply is very denatured, and
Yeah. That's a good word for it.
it is, it does take due diligence to get foods that have dense nutrition, and that's where we should be getting our vitamins. But unfortunately, it's very difficult, and
Find that.
some people complain that organic foods are more expensive. And they are more expensive than the foods that are not organic, but they're worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are worth
And
it.
I do have a question about, organic versus non-organic, because what makes a food not organic? Because you look at a tomato out of the ground, you see it in the grocery
Yep.
store.
That's a
One
good
is
question.
called organic, the other one's not. Do you know why that is?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I do. It's because of the way it's grown
Okay.
and also the seed. So,
The seed.
yeah,
That's a big deal.
the seed. You have to grow it from an organic seed, and it has to be grown in organic soils, and that's a whole science.
Okay.
A whole science. And the reason that we want to eat organic foods, even if you're not sure if it's 100% organic, the reason you want to eat that versus non-organic foods is because it has more nutrient content.
Okay.
And bottom line is our bodies depend and run on nutrients
Right.
and
And
eat
absorbing that.
and absorbing those.
Well, and that's the key too, because there's so much conflicting data about supplements
Right.
and whether you're just like putting supplements into your urine
Expensive pee.
or, you know what I mean? Or are they really getting absorbed into your body?
Good
Because there's a lot of conflicting data about
Yes,
that.
there
What are your
is.
thoughts?
There is. My thoughts about that is if you know which supplement you should be taking, and if you have your digestive process is working and you
Yeah.
do not have malabsorption, and then you will be absorbing your. Now you can tell because some supplements will come out whole.
Yeah. And
when your body's in elimination process,
right.
you will see them, or you won't notice any benefits
Right.
from
Right.
them. Case in point is calcium supplements. Calcium supplements can be a whole range. Limestone is sold as a calcium supplement, and it is. However, it's a form of calcium that you cannot absorb. Now, there may be someone on the planet
That's
that
good to make
can,
note of.
because it's basically rocks.
Yeah.
It's calcium in the form of rocks.
Mhm.
And calcium changes form when it's heated or processed.
Right.
So the true calcium is calcium bicarbonate that you can absorb in it. It only takes a little bit of stomach acid to absorb that.
Right.
Calcium carbonate or calcium citrate or limestone is basically rocks, and you can't digest
absorb
rocks.
that.
No.
You
No.
can't absorb rocks.
That doesn't even sound right.
No.
Does anybody want to eat rocks?
Yeah. Really. So I think that, when you're talking about either type 2 diabetes or heart disease, I think some of the indications are the same, meaning that you want to exercise more, you want to eat the right foods, you want to take the right supplements, you want to keep your weight under control.
Yes, that's
that kind
number
of thing.
one.
Number one.
Yes.
But you have on here cancer too, because I think a lot of people think, gee, what can you really do to prevent cancer? So
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about that and
okay.
how you would advise people.
There are many types of cancers, and I'll tell you
Yes,
why
there
I
are.
included
Yeah.
that. It's because years ago I worked with an elderly couple who were very obese, and they all this was a man and wife from Hiawassee, Georgia. And the reason they came to my clinic in Gainesville is because I had worked with their grandson and helped him with allergies. So he was able to go back out and play. He was able to and he had told me when he came, he was 6 years old, that, my goal, I said, what would you like for me to help you with? And he said, I want to be able to go outside and play with the other kids. And he said, I want to be, I don't want to be in the hospital all the time. And I want that by my birthday.
Oh.
And I said, when is your birthday?
Yeah.
Tomorrow. No.
How much time do I have to work with here?
I had 2 months.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, he got his wish, and his family was so ecstatic because his allergies were so severe. It would throw him in the floor, coughing and
Oh my
wrenching,
gosh.
just gut wrenching.
That's a quality of
coughs. He
life
could
issue there
lose
for a
his breath.
6-year-old.
Yeah.
Changed his world.
Exactly. It turned out he was allergic to gluten. He had a gluten
Intolerance.
He had an undiagnosed borderline celiac.
Right. Wow.
And the problem with celiac testing, you can have the traits of celiac, but you could come up negative,
Right. On the test.
and no one wants to look at it. So
Right.
because I used the functional testing, I was able to pinpoint that, and I had to teach his mother how to cook,
Right.
how not
Get
use
him
so
good
many
food that won't
convenience
inflame
foods.
him.
Yeah. And in that manner, we were able to get him
Well,
back to health.
on that, one of the things, Martha, that I've noticed being across the street from Jeannie and Dr. Winner is that word of mouth, right? That is the way that most people end up at the front door to see a naturopath
Right.
or a nutritional, practitioner, is the word of mouth. So the neat thing about that is that with something's built word of mouth, you may not have peer-reviewed studies, but you have real live success stories. And that's how people end up in your office.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When nothing else works.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, a lot of times
As a
we
last
saw that.
resort, but that's okay
Last
because
resort.
I
Hail
cannot
Marys.
That's right.
handle the
Yeah,
amount
let's
of
try that.
people. So what I was going to wrap up with that story is the grandparents came in and they said, we want overhauls. We
Right.
want an overhaul.
Overhaul.
And they had the big three:
Oh boy.
diabetes. They had the obesity. They're both type 2 diabetic.
Wow.
They both had cancer.
They were going to put you to the test. Wow.
Absolutely. But I am actually quoting their doctor because I said, well, what I have to have you do, because they were on combination of 14 medicines.
Wow.
And I said, because you're on so much medication, just even 5 or 10 pounds of weight loss is going to make those medicines too strong.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
we'll
gotta
get
change
some not undesirable side effects from that. So I need you to check in with your medical doctor, and I need you to tell him you are going on a weight loss program with a nutritionist.
Good.
And then you ask him to monitor your medications. He will know.
Exactly.
He will know. But if you don't tell him,
And that is wonderful that you hold the hand
yes,
of their primary
I
care
want all
physician
their
so that she
physicians
gets them
involved.
all.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, I'm more like the coordinator.
Yeah. She's the quarterback,
I'm the
actually.
coordinator.
Yeah.
I'm the
Right.
quarterback. So when they achieved their goal, and they were telling me, giving me the feedback, how happy their doctor was and everything. And so I said, you know what? This is, I'm going to go with you on one of your follow-ups, if that's okay. And this was in Hiawassee. So I went to Hiawassee and I met them at the doctor's office, and I went in with them. And the doctor said to me after he evaluated them, he said, I pronounce you free of
Wow.
diabetes.
Right.
You are cancer free,
Wow.
and you have no heart disease. He said all your markers are great,
Right.
and all your tests have come in, and they all show
All
me
the
that.
labs are good.
Yeah. And he said, he turned to me and he said, you have accomplished what I've always wanted to do, but never had the time to do.
Yes, that's the biggest problem, I think.
Yes.
They
And
they
he said,
they
you
can't
have
take the
you
time.
have proven, these people have proven that if you lose weight and you get your lifestyle on track with your eating and your stress
Mhm. Oh, that's
and your
good.
weight,
Mhm.
that you can conquer the big three.
That's amazing.
I mean, and I think that comes down to also, there is a lot of shame around
There is. That's-
weight
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
And there's also this idea that if you don't want it bad enough, or something like that. But I know I've told this story before on the podcast, but not to you, is that 5 years ago, I had a parapneumonic effusion, which is an infection in your chest. And I had to have emergency surgery to
Mhm.
correct that.
Oh,
And
gosh.
it was very touch and go for a couple of days.
During COVID.
And during
On
COVID.
top of
During
that.
COVID.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I had to
no.
go in. I was avoiding going to the doctor because of COVID, and it just was a bad situation. My husband's a doctor, and he came in one day and goes, how long have you been breathing like that? And then I could
This
tell
is
he
not
was in his
good.
doctor mode.
Yes, yes.
So, but after I got through all that and was on 6 weeks of IV antibiotics and all of that kind of stuff, my husband was very sweet. And he said, your weight didn't cause this, but it made it harder for you to recover.
Yes.
And then at that time, I was pre-diabetic. I did not have cancer and I didn't have heart disease, but I was pre-diabetic. And so I took control. I mean, I've lost about 70 pounds since then and kept it
That's
off.
wonderful.
Mhm.
I am in better shape than I was 25
Yeah.
years ago. So funny. There's this regular store
And
that
she's super mobile too, man.
Oh,
all over the place.
I mean, it's and I've had both my knees done too, so that helps. But I went into my convenience store that I stopped down, where I get gas and all that kind of stuff. And the lady behind the counter, the English was not her first language, so I know she didn't mean anything by this. But she goes, "You used to be fat."
Which was actually a compliment.
It was a compliment.
Yeah.
But she was like, so I wrote a column about that. But it is something. It's not too late. I mean, I was 61 when I did this, when I started this journey.
See, it's never too late.
I started this journey when I was 61. I'm 66 now. And,
you
I
look
feel great.
fantastic.
Doesn't
Well,
she?
thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
I
doing
feel
great.
good.
That's
But
great.
explain to our listeners and to anybody that's watching the show on YouTube, explain a little bit how the smart body,
The smart body. I love that.
I love talking about the smart
we
body.
talk about smart watches and smart cards, and we have a smart body.
We do. And I love the process of muscle testing. You are definitely going to enjoy it because you're going to feel your own smart body, your own, innate self kind of working with whatever product line she's working. If she's testing you against some sort of nutritional, you will feel it and it will show up in the muscle testing. But say just a little bit about that smart body of ours.
the
that we
smart body
have.
of ours.
We are so amazing.
I take it, I'm going to sound a little more technical here. So I
Okay.
take it you're referring to the autonomic nervous system.
Yes, ma'am. That part that does
That-
the stuff without you thinking about it.
Yes, it is amazing. It is. I like that. I like that term. It is a smart body. I always like
Use
to say,
it.
I always
You can
like to
have
say,
it.
God does not make junk.
No, No, it's a divine
right.
design.
We
So
might cause it to be junky, but
Yeah,
God doesn't
did not
make
create
junk.
it that
Yeah,
way.
exactly. Um, well, just kind of in a nutshell,
Fly
I
over.
always ask people.
Fly.
Always ask people, do you know that if you don't see what's on your skin, you can feel it? And they go, yeah. Like if you had a blindfold on and I put an ice cube in your hand, would you know it was cold? Yes. And I go, how do you know that if you don't see it? Well, I can feel it.
Right.
Yes. How does that work? It's just basic physiology that you have nerve endings and cells under your your layers of skin, and that gives you your sensory system as far as the feeling and touching. And so that is a feedback system. That there's a communication feedback going back and forth between those nerve endings and cells and your brain. And that's the remarkable thing. And your brain is weighing those frequencies
Right.
that's being signaled to
That's
it.
the quantum physics level that it's working
Okay,
at. So
okay.
it's picking up the almost the vibratory pattern,
Yes,
through the cells are registering with whatever she's working
that's
with.
right. Now, where the innate intelligence comes in
Yes.
of the body is that the brain is making decisions for you, even though you may be asleep.
Right.
Your brain is still working, it's still making decisions for you. So if something is on your skin that your brain feels shouldn't be, you'll start itching
Mm-hmm.
or
Right.
get goosebumps, or if it's too hot, you'll get a muscle reflex to drop it. So there's many ways
Right.
that your brain communicates back and forth with those cells and nerve endings. And so when we're doing functional testing, particularly applied kinesiology, aka muscle testing, we're actually in that loop with the back and forth communication through the reflexes of the body.
Yep.
Very
And
cool.
your body, which is so interesting, you'll feel it, will accept or reject, right? So it will tell very clearly to the practitioner who's trained to do this whether it will be okay. Because sometimes people just see a commercial on TV and think, oh, I'm going to go out and get all those supplements because they sound like something I could use. But you really don't know if your body actually can use it. So, yeah, you could end up with expensive urine, right?
Exactly.
That's when that
Exactly.
happens. But what she's able to do is kind of interject and kind of merge that system and be able to test you against the supplements. I mean, a lot of people will bring their bags of supplements they've already purchased and take them to Jeannie and walk out with maybe one bag because half of what they were taking wasn't even being accepted by their system,
Oh,
which
absolutely.
is very interesting. So it's a whole new world. And me being the quantum physics geek that I am, I absolutely love that. But I love it when you do it more than once. You feel the system working, and you almost know the minute she puts something in your hand that she's going to test you for, before she even tests you. Nope.
Yeah, you
Or yeah.
could kind of feel that communication on a
It's like your sensory perception changes over time the more you participate with the practitioner in the applied kinesiology. You become more sensitive to it, to where some people can even do some of their own muscle testing at home with spices or with random kitchen foods, and you're trying to make sure your body's okay with. They learn how to do certain types of testing on their own, which you can help them with too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because she's
In
great.
fact, we teach classes.
Mhm.
If anyone wants to learn
Yes,
how
tell
to
Martha
muscle
about
test.
that and the group listening today. So excited.
Sure, yes. So there is a huge demand for functional testing because part of that is patients are pressuring their practitioners to help them with complicated problems that they are unable to pinpoint on their traditional test. And there is a whole trend of practitioners across the board going into more of a private holistic practice.
A lot of MDs. That's
Yes,
for the
and what happens is the insurance will not cover them if
Right.
they
At
go
this
into
juncture.
holistic
Right.
practice. So they're in a different model. And to order a one set of blood work out of pocket could run thousands of dollars.
Right. It's true.
And most people can't afford that.
Right.
You know, they have a difficult time with that because their insurance is not going to pay for it. So using functional tests can save the patient tremendous amount of money, thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of
If they're
dollars.
venturing into that lane, it's a really great way to kind of cut through some of the
Yes.
extras that you really don't need.
Yes.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah. So we can order the basic panels instead of going into all those, very
More
expensive.
expensive, right?
Yes. And most people have already had blood tests done through their primary care physicians, and they usually have it somewhere, and I'll ask them to bring it and let me just take a quick look at it. And usually that's all I need on the blood test, but I always make them promise to keep their follow-ups with their medical professionals
Yes.
and be proactive because your doctor wants you to be involved in your health care.
Yeah.
They love it when they see you losing weight and improving on your scores. They know that you are
But
definitely.
you're teaching she's able to get, anybody can randomly now, through her program, do the applied kinesiology classes. And so that way, you can work with your grandchild, or you can work with your husband, or you can work with yourself, or you can work with, just random people nutritionally, just to help them when they're asking questions. Is that working for me? I don't know. Well, let's ask your body. Is it
Right.
working for you?
Right.
And it's just like such a different realm of understanding. I think that I think things are moving that way very quickly. For energetics, our large group of our opening accounts now are MDs that are looking to bring us a natural pharmacy into their, more traditional practice as a complementary kind of a support when they don't have a lot of time. They have limited time with their
Yeah,
patients.
so obviously, I mean, this is a bigger discussion than maybe we should have today, but you mentioned about insurance, not
Right.
paying for it. And I think one of the huge mistakes we've made is we started looking at health insurance as a healthcare finance plan
Right.
instead of really investing. People ask the question, well, will my health insurance pay for this? And then that's how they make decisions about what they need
That's
or
true.
not.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it might not be the best way.
No, it
And
sometimes is
and
not.
sometimes it's not. And I know there's this, kind of challenging relationship between functional doctors and traditional
Yeah.
MDs and all the different people. I mean, it even happens between MDs and
Specialists are.
and nurse practitioners and
Yeah.
things like
Oh,
that. Because I
yeah.
know that even in my husband's situation, there is a feeling among physicians that everybody wants a piece of their pie, but they don't want to take responsibility for it. Because usually
I can see that.
yeah,
Yes.
because what usually happens when they try to expand rights of non-traditional medicine
Right.
is that the traditional practitioner still is the one that has to have malpractice and has to deal with all of that.
Carry all the insurance.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
all the
right.
extra added expenses to be in practice.
Absolutely. So there is that feeling that, hey, I think a lot more doctors would be open to working across lines if
Yeah.
there was if some of these barriers were taken down. But
Agreed.
it's very hard to do because it's got to be done on the state level and it's got to be done legislatively. And then you've got a lot of lobbyists involved that try to keep certain things from happening. So that's another discussion for another day.
That would be a great discussion.
But it's
though.
something that we have to think about because you shouldn't make a decision on your health care based on, well, will my insurance pay for this or not? But that's how people
That's how
do it.
it's been doing that for 20 years now, probably. That's how people have
There's
been
no
rolling.
kind of insurance that you get it and you can't wait to use it.
I
Okay?
know, that's true.
Every other kind of
Well,
insurance.
you paid a lot of money
Yes,
to have
but like
that policy.
you pay your homeowner's insurance every year, and you hope you never use it.
Well,
right?
that's true because they'll raise the
You know what?
rate.
And you pay your car insurance every year, and you hope you never use it,
Right.
but you have to have it just in
I
case.
feel like it's almost for insurance is really now especially now.
Health insurance, yeah.
Health insurance is really almost for like calamities, like worst case
major
scenario,
medical.
Well,
major medical
and honestly,
situations.
we've paid this high price, and I always use this like this. We've paid this high price. I'm drawing a triangle
We're
here.
watching.
We're paid this high price for it used to be I paid you
Right.
if you provided the service.
Right.
And I also paid the insurance company, but then I got my money back from the
Yes,
insurance
I remember
company.
that.
Remember we used to sit at the
Yes.
kitchen
Get
table
your
and we'd fill
checks
out
back.
the form and
Was
all that
great.
stuff. Well, to make life easier for people, now that the hospital, which isn't the one that's getting the premiums,
No.
is the one that collects the money from the insurance company, and the person that's over here paying the premiums doesn't have anything to say about it.
Nothing.
So you can
Yes.
see that this is something that bothers me. And I think that it's also takes away from people considering
Right.
the kinds of services that you have to offer because they just immediately go, well, my insurance ain't going to pay for
Right.
this, so I can't do this.
Well, our fees are very reasonable.
They
Yes,
are.
they are. I
Very
can attest to that.
affordable. I charge $50 for a follow-up visit.
That's amazing.
First
that is
visit
amazing.
is only $150, and I go through all their tests. I do all my
Right.
testing,
I mean,
and I said
amazing, Martha.
No, that's
You're going to
true.
love it. You're going to love it.
that I don't have to pay those $1 million malpractice
Right.
policies,
Yes.
and I don't have high overhead.
Right.
So my goal is to help the person make a good living. I'm not in here
Yeah,
to
it's
get
a business.
get
Yes,
rich.
it is a business.
No, I am rich in lots of other ways.
Yep.
And it is, money is not the object. The object is to provide a valuable service.
So you mentioned the couple that you had in that had a lot of problems, obesity, all this kind of stuff. And I think a lot of people feel overwhelmed about where to start. I can tell you when I was 70 pounds overweight, I was like, I'm never.
Yeah,
this
how
is
did
not
you
you
gonna happen."
get started with that?
It was just really changed. I'll tell you the three things that I did. I started drinking a lot of water. Okay.
Hydration.
I had my big meal at lunchtime,
Mhm.
and I ate a very light dinner. I did not eliminate anything. I mean, I basically eliminated fast foods. I'm not going to say I never get fast foods because there are times when,
Mhm.
It's either
but
fast
it's-
food or no food.
but it's occasional. Do you know what I mean? It's occasional. It's not
Yes.
every day. I like
Yes.
Chick-fil-A. Occasionally I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A. Okay.
Yes,
That's
but you
just,
don't have to order the sweet drink.
that's right. That's
You
right.
don't have, you can cut
Sugar was the other thing.
that sugar dramatically in your tea.
And tell me what you think about this one. I'd love to know this. I do unsweet tea, but I was a Diet Coke girl. I jokingly say I drink Diet Coke and I fly Delta because I'm from Atlanta. Okay. So, but I couldn't get my head around how a 0-calorie drink could be so bad for me
Oh,
because you
God.
think it's zero, whatever. So
exactly.
so I
There's
gave
nothing
up.
in it, right?
That's right. I gave
A
up.
lot of people feel that way.
I gave up sodas altogether. That was another thing that I did. But the biggest change I think I made was being hungry when I go to bed and
Mhm.
not like starving, but like I eat an
Not
early
full
dinner.
of food. Right.
But the other thing is like giving up the soda and adding the water. Those are the big things. And I started moving more. I didn't focus on working out
That
so
is
much, but I
wonderful
started moving
because-
more.
Believe it or not, even though there's nothing in it, it will make you fat.
Yeah. I think it made me hungrier.
It will make
I think
you
it made me
hungrier.
hungrier.
It's very addictive. I
very-
was
the-
addicted to diet sodas at one
And
point.
I did participate in a study for GLP-1s at the beginning of the process, and it did help me.
Yeah.
And I
mean,
have
they're,
nothing
they're great
against-
peptides.
Yeah,
I
I have
mean,
nothing against that.
it's a peptide. It's a good one.
But it's been an ongoing process. My daughter jokingly says, "Mama, you've cracked your metabolic code," and because so now I've been on vacations and I don't gain weight. I do think I eat what
Yeah.
I want. I don't gain weight. I have a couple of drinks on Friday night. Not every night,
You're
but
at
on
your
Friday
happy
night
point, though. Like the
It's
body will
moderation.
naturally
It's
be happy
moderation.
at a
Yeah.
certain weight. And that's why people can't like look at all these supermodels and all these, TV stars
That's
or whatever.
a good point.
You know,
I think
people
we have
have-
an unrealistic
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
viewpoint of how we're supposed to look.
And my goal was never a number. My goal was this is a funny goal, folks, get back into regular size clothes. Okay, that was what I wanted to do. And that's where I am now.
Did you save some of your skinny clothes?
My
Or your-
fat clothes, you
your big
mean?
You had fat clothes and you had skinny clothes. Did you have some of skinny clothes to compare?
No. I had gotten rid of those
you
over the
just-
years. Yeah. But I've got them now again because I get to buy new ones.
Oh,
So
nice,
it's great.
Nice.
But I probably have 10 more pounds to go by the charts, but I'm happy where I am.
Mhm.
And if I lose 10 more pounds, great. If I
That
don't,
is
that's
a
okay.
great way to do it.
That's a good
Not that
mindset,
we
isn't it?
shouldn't
And
look
it's
at
taken
it
me like
as,
4 years to do it. So
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, that's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear you say that because it is a lifestyle change and a process. If we want to lose weight and keep it off, and we get trapped, we get to let ourselves get trapped into this hamster wheel where we
Yes.
have no time for ourselves.
Right.
But there are ways we can steal time. We
Well,
can take a little bit of a break and clear at
A
the
little
end of the
extra
parking lot
walk.
and
take the
walk.
stairs up here.
Yeah.
Make it
You
a take the stairs.
But
Yes.
because we're so thankful that you let us use the studio
Yes,
here
this
in
is
your
a
building.
beautiful
Thank you so
place.
much at
Yes.
Winter Wellness. But it is funny where on Mondays, I'm a Rotarian. I belong to the Gainesville Rotary Club. And I would say, wherever you're watching this, if you don't belong to a Rotary Club or a Kiwanis Club, get involved in a community
Yeah.
club because that helps with your wellness too, because it's community and it's working on projects and all of that. But they have this fabulous meal on Monday when we have but it's a lunch.
Yeah.
So
I've come to one of your
yes,
Rotary meetings before.
So
I spoke at one.
I get a full, a meal with dessert usually, but I don't eat
Too
I
much.
don't eat too much.
Yeah.
I don't eat too much.
She'd
But
be
I
a
haven't
great
said I
speaker.
can't have that. I think that's a mistake too.
Oh,
to
yes.
say, unless
We
you have an
don't like
allergy,
to feel deprived.
Well, when my biggest successes as a personal trainer, I ran a very successful personal training business for 25 years.
Wow.
And the thing that worked the best was me telling my clients, you get to live 80-20, right? 80%
Yes.
of your life.
80-20.
I'm an
I love
80-20
that.
girl. Like 80% of your life, you do the things that you know are going to lead you down the right healthy path. But we are alive and we are experiencing joy and all the wonderful, things of life, right? The touch, the taste, the feel. And a lot of that is centered around food and social time with
Yes,
people
that's
you
true.
care about. So I'm like, if you are just keeping that to 20%.
You mean like 20% of your
Of
time,
your of the food, if you
month,
look
your
at
year.
the foods that you're eating and the things you're putting into your body, if 20% of that is fun food, fun drink, fun food, then you're still going to be okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? Every time it works.
Yeah.
It
it's
works
so true.
every time.
Again, I think you just can't put those boundaries. You have to have boundaries, but you can't, we're as human beings, when you say you can't do something, you want to
do it immediately.
I didn't. Now
cake.
that I've given up the sodas, I don't ever crave
Don't
them
want-
anymore.
It's
yeah.
isn't that interesting
Yes.
about a diet soda? If you don't drink it for a while and you try to drink it, it's the most horrible tasting
Yes.
thing
It
you
tastes
could ever
yes.
get in your
I
mouth.
can't even do it.
I may have two a year now, and it might just be a little pick me up that I need, in the
'Cause of
day.
the
Maybe
caffeine,
two
maybe.
a year. Yeah, it's probably
a little
that.
bit of caffeine.
But if people want to get started with you, what do you think's the best path?
Well, the best path is just to call my office, the Winter Wellness Center, and that number is 770-536-6600.
Write that down.
And make an appointment for a consultation with Jeannie Winner in the nutrition.
Mhm.
And
She's
bring any tests that you've had done, and we'll go over those together. And as you know, the when you see excuse me, when you see your medical professional, they're concerned with saving your life, keeping you alive. That's what they're there for.
Mhm.
So oftentimes they don't have time to look at all the functional markers. But those functional markers are my arena. I'm here to help you
Optimize.
your health and prevent preventable illnesses. Preventable
It's a
poor
prevent
health.
defense.
Yes.
A football
Prevent
term,
defense.
folks.
Yes. Yeah.
And
that's
help
true.
you get your weight under control. Help you with your food choices
Yeah.
and your lifestyle choices.
so
Sometimes
good at
there's problems with the joints. If you had gained 70 pounds, you probably had some joint problems.
I did.
Yeah.
You try carrying just 20 pounds of potatoes around.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's a lot. You don't realize how heavy that is.
Well, and my mother's family had 300-pound people in it when nobody had 300-pound people in their family.
Wow.
And my mom, though, was like a model. She left and went and
Did
she
her
was-
own thing.
Did her own thing. And so they had a lot of arthritis. Germans were German heritage for whatever reason, they get a lot of arthritis. I don't know why. It's a lot of circulation and arthritis problems that are kind of genetic. So yeah, I definitely had some joint problems, but I feel better. I did get my knees replaced because there were bone on bone and, the pain situation.
Carrying around
Yeah.
an extra 70 pounds
absolutely.
for how many years?
Didn't
Probably
help.
25 years.
25 years of
Yeah.
care. Can you imagine trying to lift 70 pounds?
Yes.
I was just
And carry it
carrying.
around.
And you're a small frame.
Yeah. I was just carrying my 4-year-old
I've never
grandson.
had anybody say that.
That's hard enough.
Yeah, you're a small frame.
It is funny. I do this television show called The Georgia Gang. And I've been on that show at all different weights, but
Right.
we're behind a desk. But it's funny. I'm like the smallest woman on the panel now. It's so funny.
That's
I'm not
amazing.
used to that.
Good for
I
you.
used to always, when I would do a lot of TV, I would always like manage things where I'd say, okay, are we going to be in the box? Meaning, those little boxes. Or are we going to be sitting next to each other? Because I never wanted to be sitting next to someone
Wow.
else because
That's
I didn't
amazing.
want somebody comparing
Yeah,
Right.
me to someone
Yes.
else.
Yeah.
And it was,
I can see that.
you learn all those little things, but
Little
it's
tricks.
time consuming and it makes your brain hurt. So I feel much better now.
And you look great. You really
Thank
do.
you. Thank
Nothing
you.
can replace that smile.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
absolutely.
Thank
And you have kept that 70 pounds off.
So
Yeah,
far,
that's the
knock
hardest
on
part.
wood, I'm going to keep trying.
Yeah,
That's
the hardest part.
remarkable.
Yeah.
Yes, see, it can be done. And that's the way to do it. Today's the first day of the rest of your life.
Amen to that.
Yeah, I
Amen to
believe
that.
that.
So, anything else you'd like to tell us about your practice or anything you're doing?
I just wanted to share one thing about drinking lots of carbonated beverages.
Oh, please.
Right.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Not just necessary. And a lot of people do because they're convenient, they're cheap, they're easy to find.
Even just
And
the
they do
fizzy
give you a
waters,
little
because I do kind of drink just
Yes.
the fruit juice or even just plain
Like
fizzy
Spendthrift
fizzy
and-
waters. Yeah.
Yes,
probably not a good idea,
particularly
right?
Soda, because it's if you read,
What
it
is-
has a lot of phosphoric acid. in it.
Yes.
And if you adopt a habit of regularly, daily, more than once, drinking a phosphoric acid drink, then you are going to develop arthritis and make your joints worse because your body has to rob your bones of calcium to neutralize
I knew that.
Yep.
I knew that, and I still drink them. But I don't drink a lot. I have actually cut back on them.
Yeah. Well, make
Well, I think the
sure
ones
you're
that are-
taking your calcium and your thyroid
Right.
is working.
You
Because, that might be a topic for future discussion. is
Absolutely.
Optimizing your thyroid function
Oh yeah.
for a healthier
So
weight
many people with
loss.
thyroid stuff these days. I mean, more than normal.
Lots more than normal.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's crazy.
I've had that for years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most
Years,
people
yeah.
do. Most
Well,
people do.
I mean, this has been
a great
so
discussion.
productive.
Thank you so
for
much.
inviting
She's
me.
got
I really
such
enjoyed
a
it.
wealth of information, and
And what
You
a
know.
positive spirit.
she
Thank
really
you
is.
very much.
She really is.
Thank you very much. That is one of the best ways to alleviate depression is to feel good and be healthy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we want to thank Jeanne Winner for being with us here today. And again, also thank you to Winter Wellness for this beautiful studio that they allow us to use. And if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe, put in the comments what you would like to see us talk about. And we really want to continue to be a part of your life.
And what I have to say is that please, if you're in the local area, give Jeannie the chance to just go over with you what you're using as far as supplements go, what your diet looks like. It is the best investment you could ever make because Martha and I and Jeanne Winner, we believe that your wellness deserves a little oversharing.
That's right. Your wellness is our passion. Please, I invite you to come and see me and we'll have a chat, we'll have a discussion, and we'll make sure you aren't doing the expensive urine route with your supplements.
There you go. Thank you.